Hello, beautiful souls. It's Ginger Arboleda here, your go to gal for everything finance, business, motherhood, and all the fascinating things I stumble upon in life. Welcome back to Ginger Arboleda TV. Today I'm going to share something a little bit different, something I've recently discovered: Brazilian Jiu Jitsu, or BJJ for short. So let's jump right in. Before I dive into my personal experiences and insights, let's shed some light on what Brazilian Jiu Jitsu is and its rich history.
So Jiu-Jitsu, the specialty of Jiu-Jitsu is it's a grappling art. So it's all about controlling somebody within a closed distance, okay? So usually from the standing position, it's when you get to a clinch, okay? So think about it as if there is space, usually they're gonna use strikes, punches, kicks, and stuff like that. But in Jiu-Jitsu, what we want is we want to get close enough, okay? Where the strikes are not going to be as strong, and at the same time, we have control over our partner. The goal is to be able to take them down. Now, the advantage of taking them down is we have the third player, which is the mat, okay? Now, the advantage of that is it's easier to hold somebody down when we can pin them against something as compared to when it's just out in the air like this. Okay, so if I can pin them against the wall or if I can pin them against the ground, then that has an added control for me. So in Jiu-Jitsu, a lot of it is in the ground. Okay, so the goal is to make sure that I control him and then be able to tap him out or submit him by using joint locks or chokeholds. Okay, so tapping him out is basically just threatening to take a joint beyond its range of motion. So if it's going there, you feel like, oh, if it goes more, I'm gonna break my shoulder or whatever it is, the guy taps. And that's what's great about Jiu-Jitsu is we can keep training because I can tap, I don't get injured, let's train again, right? So that's the whole goal. How can I keep him pinned and control him and be able to apply a submission hold? The history of Jiu-Jitsu basically came from Japan. And when it went to Brazil, the Gracie family got so into it that they started teaching all their family members, and to kind of promote it, what they did was they did challenge matches. Okay, they would put it in the newspaper. I will challenge anybody. Come over, and then we'll do a challenge match. And oftentimes they would win. Okay, and so they were trying to prove the effectiveness of Jiu-Jitsu. And then it became really popular all around the world once the Gracies went to the US and Rorion Gracie set up the UFC, which is what a lot of people know now as the center of mixed martial arts, right? The organization, that's the biggest one. So what they did was they invited all of these different martial artists with different backgrounds to challenge each other. And there were no rules, and that's why they called it no holds barred. It wasn't even MMA yet, okay? And so anything could happen. You can pull the guy's hair, you can punch him in the groin, different weight, there's no weight class. A small guy, let's say like Manolo, is gonna go up against somebody bigger than him, and it's whatever, it's whoever can win, okay? And there's no time limit. It can go for 30 minutes and so forth. And a guy named Royce Gracie ended up winning that, and he was a jiu-jitsu guy. And he did some choke holds and arm bars and triangles that people were like, what's going on? I don't get it. This guy comes in with a kimono and he's tapping people out. And so that's when people started looking into jiu-jitsu. What is it about? They also started doing challenge matches even before that in the US. So that is how jiu-jitsu became popular. Jiu-Jitsu helped popularize MMA because of the UFC and Royce Gracie and the no holds barred events. What makes it different? Mixed martial arts, or MMA, is a combination of all the different arts, okay? So you can have boxing in there, jiu-jitsu, wrestling, kickboxing, and the rule set allows you to apply all of those things. So it's not about being just good at one type of martial art now. Everybody knows that, yes, I have to learn how to strike. I need to control my distance there. I need to be able to wrestle. I need to be able to learn jiu-jitsu. Now they understand that the evolution of martial arts is not just by practicing one martial art, but by mixing everything. That's why they called it mixed martial arts.
Now, talking about progression, BJJ operates on a belt system. Everyone starts at white belt, progressing to blue, purple, brown, and finally the black belt.
Different schools follow different belt systems. So for adults, it's a white, blue, purple, brown, black. Generally takes, nowadays it's a bit shorter, but generally 8 to maybe, took me 13 years to get my black belt. So I would say I'm in the upper limits around 8 to around 13 years to get their black belts. For kids, it's a bit different. So between the belts white and blue, we have a bunch of kids belts for practitioners below 16. So there's a solid color in between. a color with white below before that, and a color with black after that. So it's gray, yellow, green, gray, yellow, orange, green, and then between those there's gray, white, gray, gray, black, yellow, white, yellow, yellow, black, orange, white, orange, orange, black, green, white, green, green, black. So basically, there's a lot of belts for the kids to be more, I guess, visually aware of their progress, because it's kids are a bit more impatient, so it's nice to have a visual sign or symbol that they're getting better. For adults, it's a lot longer. Promotions are a way for everyone, so everyone involved, the coaches, the teammates, the parents, to recognize the hard work and the dedication that the kids have put into training jiu-jitsu.
With a clearer picture of what BJJ entails and how it differs from MMA, let's roll into my personal journey and what I've learned from my first 30 sessions. First of all, I want to share like how we discovered it. So we were walking where flyweight is in BGC, tapos nakita namin may poster doon na for kids na jiu-jitsu. Being the parents that we are, you'll notice that we make our daughter explore and try out new things. So we told Zika, oh, you want to try it? Because this is like something new, no? Something that she could probably learn from, even if she doesn't pursue it. So she said yes, and then we brought her to class. Actually, si EJ pa nga brought her to class that time. I didn't make it that time because I was with Diani. And after that, she came home so excited and she loved it so much. I think it was Coach Aldo who was training kids that time. So Coach Aldo is one of the trainers there, and he's actually the owner of Motion Jiu-Jitsu in BGC. So if you want to check it out as well, you can check it out. So it's at Flyweight BGC. So anyway, fast forward, Zika kept going, and she would attend classes and she wouldn't miss any of the classes, no. And we would keep going and we would see her like improving and learning new moves. So we got curious, no. Me and my husband got curious. So we wanted to test it out as well. So yeah, the other parents like Welly and the rest, Welly, Janice and the rest, would encourage us also to try it out. And so we did. First off, what I absolutely adore about BJJ is that it's a game of strategy. It's about knowing your body and learning how to move it effectively. Strength? Well, it's not the primary factor here. It's like a physical chess game where you need to be 2 steps ahead, and you all know how much I love activities involving strategy and planning. If you're a person who loves to challenge their mind and body simultaneously, BJJ will be your cup of tea. It's such a refreshing break from the mundane, allowing me to focus, strategize, and plan my moves carefully, all while getting a fantastic workout. Next, BJJ has brought a deeper level of connection with others. The bond, the brotherhood, and sisterhood that develop are absolutely irreplaceable. Knowing that your training partner respects your practice as much as you respect theirs creates an unspeakable bond. This community aspect has made every session more enjoyable and enriching, strengthening not just my body but also my social bonds. And in the world where genuine connections are becoming scarce, this is genuinely invaluable. Another beautiful aspect of BJJ is the self-discovery journey it offers. I'll be honest, initially I had my reservations. It's too rough, I'm too old, the classes are too early, you name the excuse, I probably made it. But I couldn't let myself say it's not for me without giving it a fair chance. And boy, am I glad I did. Each session teaches me more about my limits, my strengths, and my capabilities. It's like peeling an onion, discovering layers of myself I didn't know existed. And this leads me to another point. Brazilian Jiu Jitsu bears it all. It magnifies our weaknesses and our inhibitions. The mat is like a mirror reflecting our vulnerabilities, and there's nowhere to hide. But here's the beautiful part. It's in facing these vulnerabilities that we truly grow. It's a humbling experience, showing me areas I need to work on, not just physically but mentally and emotionally. And embracing these weaknesses, acknowledging them, and working on them has been a transformative journey, making each session a lesson in self-improvement and self-acceptance. Let's talk longevity. BJJ is not just a sport for the young and robust. It's a lifelong journey.
I started Jiu-Jitsu in my late 30s. What I like the most about Jiu-Jitsu is that I found a fun and safe environment for me to train and keep fit and stay healthy. So safe, in fact, that I was able to train up to my 5th month of pregnancy. And now that I have 3 kids, it's an activity that we all enjoy together as a family.
What I like about Jiu-Jitsu is, besides it's good for my physical health, it's also good for my mental health. And lastly, the group of friends that I've met here.
Lastly, the practicality. BJJ is not just about rolling on the mat, it's about learning how to defend oneself. Knowing that I have acquired skills to protect myself and my loved ones if the need arises brings an empowering sense of confidence and security. It's not just about the fight, it's about being prepared, being aware, and having the knowledge to handle situations effectively. It's practical, it's useful, and it's empowering.
So far, what Ginger and EJ have been learning is just first, here's the analogy, right? When you learn a language, you learn maybe thank you, right? All these words, but you don't know how to put them together yet. So what they're learning is just a bunch of words right now. But instead of doing a bunch of words and not knowing how to connect them, what we're trying to do is trying to find the easily relatable words that you can connect and have them form sentences, right? Now, the concepts in Jiu-Jitsu is like the grammar in the language, right? And what I'm trying to teach them right now is making them understand the grammar so that once I input a word, they'll know how to be able to put it into sentences, if that makes sense, okay? So right now they're learning a lot of defense, more of understanding how to get out of side mount, understanding how to get out of mount, understanding what's happening when somebody has their back. These positions are the positions that you will always get to in Jiu-Jitsu. There's always somebody that's going to put you there. So in the beginning, it's all about defense, making sure that you know how to keep yourself safe. So that's where they're at. But to learn the defense, you also need to learn the offense in that position so that you understand what to defend when it's the other way around, right? So it's a little bit of those that we're playing around with. The difficult part with Ginger and EJ is that they're entering the regular class. We don't have the beginner's class yet, but now that we are in this beautiful space that is now the new gym, we have an intro to Jiu-Jitsu, basics class, and then the regular class. So it's actually pretty cool that they're kind of learning through the regular class and being able to hang with the guys there. So that's pretty much where they're at in their training.
I think being good training partners comes more naturally for adults, right? Because they've been parang trained in the norms of society. People have to cooperate to perform big things. So I think that comes more naturally. So for adults, I think it's more training with a purpose. What could have improved before in my journey was I thought showing up was enough. Showing up is more than 50% of it, right? Just showing up at the start is the hardest part. But once you do start to show up, what do you do when you show up, right? It's not you can go there and blindly just go through the motions, wait for sparring, just play your normal game in sparring. That's good, but what will make you improve faster is coming to class with a specific goal, with a specific thing you want to improve, and working on that. Putting yourself in bad positions, putting yourself in positions that you know you have to work on. I think that's a fast track to improving. And competing. Competing for me exposes the holes in your game, forces you to train properly, right? Because you have that deadline of the competition. And in fact, I think most of the improvement comes in the preparation leading towards competition and not necessarily in the competition itself. So if you're scared to compete, what might get you over that hump or that wall of anxiety is for sure 100% you'll come out the other side better.
So my advice for beginners is to figure out how to learn rather than trying to memorize techniques. Understand why you do certain things is the most important thing. Like for example, if you grip, why am I gripping this way? If I put my hips this way, why do I need to do that? Always ask the why, because if you can understand it, you will have an easier chance in problem solving, because jiu-jitsu is a problem solving activity, right? So if you memorize and they do something completely different from what you memorize, all of a sudden you're lost. But if you understand the position and the objectives within each position, then you can kind of improvise and find a way to still apply what it is that you want to do, or apply the objective, right? So it's more of understanding more than memorizing, and get the thought of winning out of the way. Don't think like if you spar or if you drill that you have to win the drill or spar. What's important is I use those things as tests to understand the position better. Because if you keep learning and you learn well, eventually you will win anyway. So focusing more on the process rather than the result, I think is a good tip.
So, after 30 sessions of sweat, strategy, and self discovery, I am more than happy to continue my journey in Brazilian Jiu Jitsu. It's a journey of constant learning, building genuine connections, and maintaining physical and mental well being. To those who are contemplating trying BJJ, I say give it a chance. Break those mental barriers, step out of your comfort zone, and embark on a journey that is bound to change your life in ways you never imagined. That's it for today's segment on my jiu-jitsu journey. If you enjoyed this video, give it a thumbs up and don't forget to subscribe to Ginger Arboleda TV for more insights on finance, motherhood, business, and more incredible discoveries. I'd love to hear your thoughts on your experiences with Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu or any other martial art. Drop a comment below and get the conversation rolling. Until next time, stay curious, stay inspired.